guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted us to go through Dash applications, basically creating dashboards, and we want to use the proprietary Dash system, and I'll explain why. As a way of introduction, my name is John. I'm 33 years old, and I live in Nairobi, Kenya. I've had quite a bit of experience in terms of data, in terms of machine learning. But my main work right now, I'm working as a data manager in a Netherlands-based NGO. It's called Lift, and we mostly work with diaries data. Now, diaries data are just long-term studies where we follow respondent over some period of time. And one of the challenges we've been having is that the data is complex and we need our clients mostly to be able to interact with that data, to be able to go ahead and drill down into the data. So we've been looking for new technologies we can use for visualizing the data. One of the key visualizations technologies we've been thinking about has been Google Data Studio. We use this for quite some time. Now, the main challenge was that the Data Studio was not so flexible in terms of customization, and this was one of a key thing we needed in our data. We needed the data to be very highly customizable. But we also tried Tableau, we tried Power BI. Now, Tableau, the main issue was that once we get the data, we get the visualization. We didn't want to put it in the Tableau public because okay, we are a very small company and we were trying out just new visualization technologies, but we didn't want to pay at first. So we wanted to just get something you can build quickly and then share with our clients. And then over time, we decide whether we can go for the professional package. Now, the tools I've listed here, some of them are really good, especially the Tableau, the Google data, they are very good and they are very easy to work with. They work well with large data and they integrate with most data sources. Now, the only problem or the main problem was now customization and lack of integration with the larger Python tools and frameworks. And also, you find that you spend a lot of time learning new aspects of this data, which is not exactly the best. So because of this, we have been considering what do we do so that we can get our visualizations out there with the client, and this is where we stumbled upon Dash. So now Dash has been a lifesaver for us, and the main thing we've just been using it, developing the dashboards from scratch in Python, and then hosting them or deploying them on Heroku. And this is like would be the main part of the main purpose of this entire video. So we'll talk about Dash, what it is, how can you can use it to create beautiful plots, how you can use it to create a dashboard, and how you can have it deployed. It's easy to learn, and there is some very good documentation out there. You can even see the Dash gallery that is available. You can go and see what other people have done in Dash. Now, this would be a simple Dash app. It's a very few lines of code. You import the Dash and some of the dependencies, and then you need to use pandas because we are going to create the tables into pandas and then translate that table into a plot. And you then define the layout, which is a HTML div, and under the div is where now you end the graph, and then you give it tab, and then you're done. You have your graph. It's hosted and it's interactive. So this is what I want us to do in Python. I think I'll break this down into 2 or 3 videos instead of having one long video, and you can follow up as I go do in the next video. Now to start us off, I've created an empty folder. Okay, technically it's not empty. It has this PowerPoint that I've been using for the introduction, but it can just remain. I don't see a problem there. Under here, under this folder, you can open a command prompt. This will be CMD, and this now opens the terminal. Here we will need to number one open the environment and then install the libraries that we are going to need. So we write pip install. Okay, I made a mistake there. Pip install Dash. So Dash is our main library that you're going to use, but you're also going to need pandas. Okay, sorry. Before this, we need to open the environment. The environment I'm using is the ppnp. So you find that some people prefer to use virtual environment or the VNV. Others use the Anaconda, the base library, the base environment. So use any that you find works well for you. For in my case, I'm using the PPNV. You can just write PPNV then shell. This opens the environment, and you can see here saying that there's an environment created called administrator. Then under this, I write install dash, and you find that this is very important. The environment part is very important because now when we go to deploy it on Heroku, we are going to require some of these libraries that you are installing so that it works also on the cloud. So sorry about that. ppnv pip install dash. Then you are going to install pandas. You're also going to install the plotly environment. So I think I'll just keep this and then resume after all the libraries have been installed. On the folder that we are working on, we have created two files. The first one is an app.py, it's empty for now. And then I've also created a notebook. I find it to be good practice to create a notebook where you can experiment with all the graphs you need. And then once you are okay and you are comfortable with all the graphs, you now transfer them to the app.py. And I think this is because for the app.py, there are people who are used to working with the .py files. I'm not. So I've found this to be a very easy way of working with both Py and Jupyter notebooks that I'm more familiar with. Now, this is the Jupyter notebook. I've opened the two files in VS Code. So I've created an very simple data set. You'll import the pandas as PD, you'll import Plotly Express as PX. In case you don't have the Plotly Express installed, the others are a bit more obvious to install. You just pandas install pip install pandas. But now this one you write Plotly hyphen express. And I've written the way to do this here and I have hashed it. Then I'm creating a simple data set. So the data is pd.dataframe and I'm giving it a dictionary with the names, four names and four ages. And you're going to use this data to create a bar plot. And this is not so complicated. You just write figure equals to px.bar. And then you give it the data. In this case, it's data. You give it the x-axis, will be names. And then you give it the y-axis, will be the ages or the age in this case. And it shouldn't take long once you have given those parameters. Then if you want to see the graph, you just write the fig, but in this case, let's write fig.show. That's the best way to show the plot that you've generated. This is the plot. As you can see, the plot is interactive, so we can add a bit of customization. The first would be the title. And we can say this is the names and ages of four friends. Quite descriptive there. And if you want to fully customize this, you can just go Google how to do this. For example, let me open a browser. So it's actually very straightforward to do this. You can Google how to create custom colors in Plotly Express. The first way you can do is to use discrete colors, but you can also use continuous colors. But because we are using a bar plot and has just 3 friends or 4 friends, we will use the discrete colors. And here you'll find that you get a mapping. This is a mapping of different theme colors that you can use under Plotly. And just pick any. Like for example, I'll just notice that the one I want to pick, the G10, I will use the G10. So I'll come and I'll copy this part. But in case you want to use, let's say, the safe or the pastel, you just change this last part. Instead of G10 to be pastel or whichever else other color that you choose, and you just add it here. And this will be our only customization for now, because I think we don't need to dwell so much. Of course, the difference is not big. You cannot see the difference because the colors, the original one was blue, but this one is also blue. But I think it does look good. For bar plots, sometimes it's good to interchange the X and the Y so that you get a horizontal plot. So this shows like Alice had she's quite old, evidently. So now with this, we can now transfer this to the app.py. We'll need to transfer the code, but don't transfer the data.head. So on the app.py, we need to import dash, then from dash, from dash import uh, dash, we need to import HTML and DCC. So these are okay, the autocorrect is changing this. So it's DCC. I don't know why it's doing that. DCC. Okay, I've dealt with that. Then you create an application variable that is going to be dash. Then you give it the danda name, then danda. So that's how you put it. And then after that, you can create the server. I normally start by creating the server where you say if name is equals to main. So this is just the standard way of starting creating a dash app. So just bear with it. There are just 4 lines of code. You import the libraries, you create the app, and then you run the server. So app.run, app.run server. Then you can write debug equals to true. It helps you with giving you the errors that are coming, and then whenever you make some changes, it refreshes the server. So this would be our typical application. Now we have quite some code to be copied. So this is the additional libraries that we will be using from the Jupyter Notebook, and we've now placed the data. We also need to add the figure, but don't copy the fig.show part. We don't need that one for the application. I think the server will display that for us. So there you go. We have the figure, we have the data. So here we need to add a layout because now the application needs to know how will it format the HTML website, kind of how will it look like. So we give it a layout, and this is how you say that the app.layout equals to. For those who are familiar with HTML, you normally use divs to organize your work. So these are just like containers that help you organize your work. And this div, the first div you create under the app.layout, that would be the main, like the main layout. Then under it, you can have children layouts. Part of that, like you subset the main layout into different chunks. But I think how to do that goes beyond the scale. But later I will introduce you to how you can use a template to simplify that. So some of these, creating these templates and working with HTML goes beyond the scope of a data scientist. So it's good to, or at least I found it easier to just use a template so that I focus on the data science bit and not on the visual aspect or the front end kind of work. So I've talked to people in front end, and some of them have developed for me template that I can share and you just need to create the graphs, copy paste them on the template, and then you have your dashboard, which is very easy. So here we are going to write children, or we can just write dcc dot graph. So this would be the main container that will capture the object that will capture the plot that we've created. We give it an ID. In this case, an ID can be any string that you decide. Let's give it 01, and then the figure will be equals to the fig, and we save that. So this is it. We have created our data. We've imported all the libraries we needed. We've also created a figure, and now we've created that figure inside the layout. And now we go to the terminal here, and we can write ls. Now ls will give us what files are here. So you can see we have the app.py, we have the PowerPoint, and we also have the test.ipynb that we can delete later. And here we write Python because we want to run the app.py. So we run it like that, and um, I'm hoping it will just pick everything and run. Hope no mistakes have been encountered. Okay, so the problem here, it says that I used divs. I think I should have used div, and it has no plural. So that was an error. Such small things can really give you quite a lot of headache. So it's best to just sort them out before running the server. So I'll copy this link. It's the link to our graph, and I'll paste it on my browser. And there you go. We have rendered now the graph in Dash, and we have a local server that you can use to access, and you can see the interactivity is still there. So in a different video, what we will do is create multiple graphs, showcase how we can arrange them so that they look more like a dashboard. And then after we do that, we simply now go to the deployment, because that was the key point of this video. So I didn't want to dwell so much on creating creating the graphs, because there are a lot of documentation out there. What I think is lacking and what is missing is sometimes how to go from the graphs you've created on your local environment to a deployed graph or dashboard. And also something else that is missing is the templating aspect of the dashboards, because you find that you spend quite a lot of time creating good, trying to make the dashboard look good, which should not, in my opinion, be the main focus of a data scientist. I think you should focus more on querying the data, getting insights. Then when it comes to now displaying these insights, should be very easy. And that's what I hope to achieve by the end of these videos. Thank you for listening, and see you on the next video.